are in the hills of Riversdale, St. Catherine, and we're looking at Psalms 10, verse 4 to 6 for the exposition. And those verses read, verse 4, "The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. And for all his enemies he puffeth at them. He had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity." So the exposition reads, verse 4, "The proud boastings and lewd blessings of the wicked have been received in evidence against him. And now his own face confirms the accusation, and his empty closet cries aloud against him. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. Proud hearts breed proud looks and stiff knees. It is an admirable arrangement that the heart is often written on the countenance, just as the motion of the wheels of a clock finds their records on its face. A brazen face and a broken heart never go together. We are not quite sure that the Athenians were wise when they ordained that men should be tried in the dark, lest their countenance should weigh with the judges. For there is much more to be learned from the motions of the muscles of the face than from the words of the lips. Honesty shines in the face, but villainy peeps out at the eyes. See the effect of pride? It kept the man from seeking God. It is hard to pray with a stiff neck and an unbended knee. God is not in all his thoughts. He thought much, but he had no thoughts for God. Amid heaps of chaff, there was not a grain of wheat. The only place where God is not in his thoughts of the wicked, the only place where God is not is in the thoughts of the wicked. This is a damning accusation. For where the God of heaven is not, the Lord of hell is reigning and raging. And if God be not in our thoughts will bring us to perdition. Verse 5. His ways are always grievous. To himself they are hard. Men go a rough road when they go to hell. God has hedged up the way of sin. Oh, what folly to leap these hedges and fall among the thorns. To others also his ways cause him much sorrow and vexation. But what cares he? He sits like the idol god upon his monstrous car, utterly regardless of the crowds who are crushed as he rolls along. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. He looks high, but not high enough. As God is forgotten, so are his judgments. He is not able to comprehend the things of God. A swine may sooner look through a telescope at the stars than the man study the word of God to understand the righteousness of the Lord. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He defies and domineers, and when men resist his injurious behavior, he snares at them and threatens to annihilate them with a puff. In most languages, there is a word of contempt borrowed from the action of puffing with the lips, and in English we should express the idea by saying, he cries, pooh, pooh, at his enemies. Ah, there is one enemy who will not thus be puffed at. Death will puff at the candle of his life and blow it out, and the wicked boaster will find it grim work to brag in the tomb. Verse 6. The testimony of the 6th verse concludes the evidence against the prisoners upon the first charge of pride, and certainly it is conclusive in the highest degree. The present witness has been prying into the secret chambers of the heart, and has come to tell us what he has heard. He had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Oh, impertinence runs the seed. The man thinks himself immutable, and omnipotent too, for he is never to be in adversity. He counts himself a privileged man. He sits alone, and shall seek no sorrow. His nest is in the stars, and he dreams not of a hand that shall pluck him thence. But let us remember that this man's house is built upon the sand, upon a foundation no more substantial than the rolling waves of the sea. He that is too secure is never safe. Boastings are not buttresses, and self-confidence is a sorry bulwark. This is the ruin of fools, that when they succeed they become too big, and swell with self-conceit, as if their summer would last forever, and their flowers bloom on eternally. Be humble, O man, for thou art mortal, and thy lot is mutable. The second crime is now to be proved. The fact that the man is proud and arrogant may go a long way to prove that he is vindictive and cruel. Haman's pride was the father of a cruel design to murder all the Jews. Nebuchadnezzar builds an idol. In pride he commands all men to bow before it, and then cruelly stands ready to heat the furnace 7 times hotter for those who will not yield to his imperious will. Every proud thought is twin brother to a cruel thought. He who exalts himself will despise others, and one step further will make him a tyrant. Yes, we see it in the marketplace. We see it in the world. Men who have strayed from even the thoughts of God and lean to their own understanding, which is so ludicrous, though buttressed with fancy words and emotional tugs, lies from the pit of hell, yet will not survive the judgment of the great I Am. Well, Michael here, trust you enjoyed the meditation, declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.